Right. Just make sure I'm live. Also, I would like to change this. Oh, you're gonna get a sneak peek at my recommended again. There we go. Switch on over to this. Why? Go. Do all of these shenanigans. Alright, share, bam. Looks like we're good on that end. Where is the, there we go. I have to send out all the notifications manually. All right. Sweet. All right. So, as you may or may not notice, the other camera is not here. It's just a blue rectangle right now. I guess that's what it defaults to. Because this stream, I don't really feel like doing blindfold stuff. Or at least I don't feel like putting on the blindfold. So I think for this stream in particular, we're going to skip the setup review and all of that stuff. I don't want to have to worry about setting up a bunch of stuff I'm not going to use, right? But I still kind of wanted to stream and check things out, because we do have some house cleaning sort of stuff to do. I suppose I can excuse me, switch on over here. Right, I need to open up the strat guide. Here we go. All right. Yep. Because I have not updated the notes for E18. And I suspect there are going to be quite a few. So I didn't want to do it last stream. Is my thing too bright? See, it's so annoying. I feel like it's too bright if I do it up one notch, but it's too dark if I move it down. Whatever, it's fine. As long as you can see my face, right? So we've got a lot of notes to do. Another thing I wanted to do was go over the E18 run, because my internet was a little bit spotty when I was doing attempts, and I wasn't talking during the run, so I feel like I kind of want to give some commentary about that. But we can do that maybe a little bit later. The other thing that I would like to do is create more defined rules for each of these difficulty tiers. Because now that I have the hindsight of playing every single level, I think I want to go back through and like re-rank these. And I have a feeling that most of these are going to stay relatively the same, but it could change. Yo, what's up, Graham? What's up? Graham, I have an update, a very important update. As you can see here, I have completed all 91 levels individually that are required to beat the game. I did that yesterday, and I posted a video about it. So you should see it on YouTube. It is an hour long, but because it includes every single level completion. But there are there's like a funny moments compilation at the very end of that video, so you can skip most of it if you want to. But yeah, I finally beat the last level. And just to give some context here, so which of these, how are you going to memorize every level for a whole run? Using this document here, where I have written out step-by-step instructions on how to beat every single level blindfolded. Some of them you can see are extremely easy. Some of them require, hang on, let me find it. Some of them require 43 steps in order to beat this particular C18. So, excuse me. In theory, all you have to do is memorize all of these steps and then you're good, right? You can't look at the doc during the run. I mean, yeah, but all you have to do is memorize all of the steps, right? That's all you have to do. Oh, hang on. Give me just, I don't have a be right back screen. Hang on. I got this. You know what? I'll just spell it. There we go. Okay. I bought a new desk chair, and it just arrived. I'm gonna go grab it real quick. I will be back. I promise. I will mute my mic real quick though. Okay, there we go. Oh, I turned the mic on just in time for me to cough. Yeah, I I thought that's what you were doing. Graham is about to appear in front of us like a magic trick. He was in the chat, and all of a sudden, now he's going to be sitting next to me. I don't know if my camera is wide enough to capture both of us. But yeah. Is it gonna fit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there we go.
It barely does, but it fits.
Yeah. Do I have... Hang on. Hello? Test, test, test. There we go. It didn't recognize my device. Oh, yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
It sounds good.
Great.
Okay. But there we go. It's a Graham. He magically appeared from the chat.
Don't present me.
But I have to explain to them why you just appeared out of nowhere, you know?
All one viewer, which is me sitting at my desk.
Okay, well... Shut up. But like I was saying, so we've got this document here. I should show my screen now that I've shown...
What are you talking about? I can see it.
Graham. And then that just destroys everything. Can you still... Okay. Mic still works. Hang on. Hey! Okay, you can kind of see the both of us.
I'm not that important.
And then I'll change this. Party. Booyah. Alright. That's the goal. So, as I was saying, this is the cheat sheet, basically. Now, it's not complete at this point, because I haven't actually updated the notes for the last level here.
Why?
Because I just beat it yesterday.
Okay.
This is the final level, and I wanna try and give some context here. So, let me open up some of these and see. Okay. Here we go. So just to give some context here. Can I extra large? There we go. So there we go. All of those streams, except that one, all of these streams were spent on 90 out of the 91 levels.
Spent 3
All of
streams?
these,
What the fuck?
all of those streams were for the last one.
How many hours was that?
So I did do the math. In total, or I did half of the math. In total, I spent around 57 and a half hours live streaming. Now, some of that is strategizing, some of that is taking notes. Not all of that was actually with a blindfold on.
Well, sure.
But that's the total amount. I don't know. I think Glitch did the math at one point, but I don't know exactly how many hours just the one level took.
Okay.
You know what? Maybe we can do some approximation here. I'm gonna make the stupid bookmark now because it's playlist.
Should get an
view full playlist.
Just get another hard drive just to put all your footage.
Okay. Well, I mean, I kind of do. It's on a different drive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is on my D drive.
Okay.
Bookmark current tab. Shit, wait, where did I just save that to? Is it here? Where'd it go? There it is. Just put it up there. Okay. So let's see. Which episode was it that I started working on this last level? So this one I did. Okay, so it was episode 14. So we've got 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours, 3.5 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, 47 minutes, 45 minutes, and then 20 minutes.
What's wrong with you?
Listen. Several months ago, I decided I was going to beat the game.
I know that.
I can't just give up at this point. I got 90 out of the 91 levels. What was I supposed to do?
Did you at least enjoy doing it?
Well, yeah, obviously.
Okay. Well, that isn't obvious because you're working on one level for how many fucking hours that is.
But that's fun. What do you mean?
Okay.
Yeah, so I need to update the notes for this. I kind of want to keep this one just because it's funny. And this level is comically difficult.
Okay.
So just to give some context for this, here I'll hop on over to this guy. So, I mean, you've seen this level before, right?
Probably.
The idea is that you pick up a gun at the start of the level, and it automatically tracks the boss.
Okay.
So basically, you just have to
Right.
position yourself in a way that the gun can actually hit.
Right.
Now it's shooting a constant stream of shots.
Yeah.
And it makes a sound effect every time a shot hits the boss.
Okay.
Which means you're getting a constant
Okay.
Which means, let's see, does it happen here? Yes. So you see how his next move, he moves backwards?
Yeah.
The stream of hits slows down when he moves backwards.
Jesus.
And so
Okay.
I use that sound effect, or I use that combination of
Yeah.
sound effects to determine what move he's using.
Right.
Or at least to help determine it.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is because his teleport move, so this move that he's doing now,
Mm-hmm.
makes a very loud sound effect when he teleports.
Okay.
And he also chooses another move to use immediately after he teleports.
Okay.
And there is a startup sound effect for 2 of his 3 moves, But obviously, because he makes a sound effect after he teleports, it's not really feasible for me to know which move he's going to use next.
Right.
Because the end sound effect overrides the startup of the next move.
Right.
So in this position, that's what I use the Geiger counter for.
Okay.
Is if I hear the shot slow down, then I know he's moving backwards and he's going to start sliding. This is called a slide attack.
Okay.
So his 3 moves are teleport, slide, and chase.
Okay.
Chase is just he slowly moves towards you.
Sure.
So that explains this comment. Okay. Yeah, so here you can see the description of each of the 3 moves.
Okay.
And this level wouldn't be so difficult if it was just these 3 moves. But of course, you can see that there's a red circle around me right here.
Mm-hmm.
Those are random. So it doesn't always track onto me. He will try to predict my movement, and he will shoot shots where he thinks I'm going to be.
Right.
They also happen at random times. There is a start sound effect to it, but there's no way to know where exactly it is.
Sure.
You can approximate how close it is to you, but most of the time you're trying to listen for what move he's using. You're also trying to listen to other stuff, so it's pretty hard to tell. General rule of thumb is that if you hear a shot be fired, just assume that it's going to hit you and move out of the way. Was this the actual run that got all? No, it wasn't. Okay. So I guess I'll go to the run that I won, and I'll give some commentary on it, because obviously I was silent for the entire time.
Right.
So this, I believe this was the run immediately before the one that I won.
Okay.
And so you can see his health bar right here.
Yeah.
It's actually already pretty low. So, as you can imagine, there's a spike spawning right there. I don't remember if I knew there was a spike here. I think I did. I think I did hear this spike spawn. Spikes are a lot easier to tell where they are than the shots. Luckily, those are the only 2 random obstacles in the level.
Okay.
So you only have to worry about those 2, but
right.
Just know that spikes are a little bit easier. You can also time it a lot better. But yeah, so I kind of...
Okay.
It's difficult here because obviously the idea is that I get into this corner and then I double jump up and on top of the T.
Okay.
But I don't know when I've hit this corner until I hear... So moving makes a sound effect.
Right.
But only when you're on the ground.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to hear when that moving sound effect stops. And when that happens, I know that I've rubbed up against this corner.
Right.
So I have to wait until I stop hearing that sound effect and then jump.
Okay.
And so here, I just don't react in time.
Right.
And I get hit by that.
Yeah.
That's fine. But you can see, so the health bar blinks up at the top. You can see how close I got, though.
Yeah.
And being that... So, yeah. My heart was beating very quickly at this point because, you know, the attempt immediately before, I was really close to winning.
Yeah.
But I came up with a new strategy for attempting this level because whatever I was doing before wasn't really working, obviously.
Yeah.
So I had the idea of just grinding out attempts because what I was doing before was I would do an attempt, I would die, and then I would try to figure out why I died with the blindfold still on.
Right.
Just trying to remember what sound effects I was hearing and where I thought things were positioned.
Yeah.
And so that led to a lot of frustration because a lot of times I didn't know how I died.
Right. I was going to say, how can you really tell without looking at it?
Right. And for every single one of the levels before this one, that strategy worked. because they were somewhat predictable.
Sure.
The layout was not as confusing. There weren't a whole lot of mistakes I could make.
Right.
This one was dramatically different.
Yeah.
And so it took me a while to finally realize that, you know, that sort of mentality isn't working. So what I need to do is just make attempts. Don't even think about why I died. When I'm satisfied with a certain number of attempts, then I pause, I look back at my stream, and I figure out exactly why I died.
Right.
So at this point, that's all just to give context. At this point, my heart is beating really fast, but I'm trying my best to just forget it.
Right.
And just not worry about what happened and focus on the next attempt. And so I am resetting here to try and to ensure that his first move is a teleport.
Okay.
Because that guarantees that I get a bunch of damage very early on.
Right.
So in an ideal setup, he would teleport and then slide. And there's a particular setup that I can do that effectively removes 2/3 of his health bar before I have to start improvising.
Okay.
And so that's ideal. In the run that I won, that didn't happen.
Okay.
Which is ironic, but that would be the ideal scenario. So
Right.
I'm basically resetting, hoping that I get that.
Yeah.
So you can see here, I reset a couple of times, waiting for him to teleport. So here we get the teleport. So you can see I stand on this ledge where I can hit him here.
Yeah.
And then immediately after he teleports, I still have an angle and I can
Right.
still hit him here. So, and then again, we use the Geiger counter strat to know that he's sliding.
Right.
Is this the run that I won? I thought it was. Maybe it's not. Oh, it's not. Okay, hang on. I do remember the... Yeah, here we go. Okay. Yo, what's up, Glitch? This is Graham.
Hello.
I am currently giving post commentary on the E18 run. So I thought... So yeah, this is the run that I won. Oh, you know what? Hang on. I'm dumb. I added a link. I added a link for a reason. I have spreadsheets and stuff for a reason. I don't know why I did that. Okay. But I mean, what I was saying before about the context still applies because, you know, this was the attempt directly before the run that I won. Look at the health bar.
Yeah, I saw that.
And look at the health bar here. Like, okay, dude. So, like I said before, my heart is racing at this point. I'm trying my best not to think about it and just focus on the next run. And so we're resetting, hoping for a teleport. So we get the teleport, deal a bunch of damage. So now, I at this point I don't know if he's using a teleport move or if he's using a chase move.
Okay.
Because the Geiger counter strat only really works for the slide move, because there's a very distinct change in sound effects.
Sure.
But when he teleports, he stays perfectly still, and when he chases, he moves very slowly. He also gets smaller as you hit him.
Okay.
So, you know, his hitbox is shrinking as he's moving closer to you.
Right.
It's kind of hard to tell the difference.
Yeah.
Now, the strategy for this is that you just sit here. If he does end up teleporting, you just take the loss and you reset and try again.
Right.
But if he chases, it's really, really good. Now, if he does a slide move here, what he's going to end up doing is basically moving perfectly horizontal across the top of the level. And so the strategy there is to basically follow in front of him. So drop down to the right here.
Yeah.
And then fall down. There's a path to the bottom of the level here.
Yeah, I saw that.
Sit down there, and then you can shoot. You have an angle where you can shoot straight up.
Right.
After his slide move. And that basically guarantees 2/3 of his health goes away. But if he does a chase move here, if he ever decides to slide, well, so I should clarify. If he does chase 2 times in a row, he will basically boot me off of this area.
Okay.
And if I drop down to here, which is kind of where I want to be, like this is a really good position to be in.
Yeah.
Then if he decides to slide, his angle is a lot different. He's going to move diagonally down, and so he's going to be directly on top of the place where I would normally want to be.
Okay.
So the strat for that then is to drop down onto this platform and then immediately go left and drop down here.
Right.
So at this point, I know he's not sliding, so I'm keeping in the back of my mind, okay, I need to go right, drop down here, and then move back left. And I want to wait on this platform as long as possible because I get a straight shot at him. I can deal a bunch of damage. So now I hear this spike up top.
Mm-hmm.
And again, because I don't really know exactly where it is, I just assume that it's on top of me. And so ideally, I'd like to stay here for a little bit longer, but being that I hear that spike, I decide to move away basically as soon as that spawns.
Right.
And because that happened, I was distracted by trying to time the sound of the spike spawning, so that I could stay up here for as long as possible. I was trying to time it, and so my focus was not on what move he's using. So at this point, I actually didn't hear that he's using the teleport move.
Right.
So my plan is just sit here, and if he slides, I'm gonna try and escape to the right, because at that point he'd be too close. I don't really think I could move to the left. And if he teleports, then obviously I move to the left.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to hear his move. So I hear that shot, and again, I just assume that it's going to hit me, so I decide to leave a little bit early. Now here I get a little bit lucky, because this is entirely muscle memory. I don't really know when to stop holding left, so I just take my best guess. I get pretty lucky here that I still have an angle, because I could very well be underneath this wall.
Right.
But I get a little bit lucky there. And again, I hear this shot. It comes out. So I sit here, and then that shot comes out. So I hear that. Again, I just assume that it's going to hit me.
Right.
So I decide to move. And go down here. We love muscle memory around here. Yeah. I did my best to get rid of it as much as possible, but some levels just straight up require it.
I mean, requires less memorization if you could just do it.
Yeah, but ideally you'd like a step-by-step thing so that you don't have to be like, well, what was the muscle memory for this level?
That's for nerds.
Exactly.
That's the whole point of muscle memory, is you don't have to think about it. You just do it. You don't have to think about what the muscle memory is.
Okay, but there's 90...
The muscle memory is just there.
There's 91 levels in the game.
Okay.
If you play it enough, you're going to develop muscle memory. But, like... I don't know. I prioritized step-by-step instructions.
Yeah.
You know, of course, different strategies are going to work for different people, but this was for me. All right, so I moved down here. So at this point, I know that he's like vaguely in this area, but I don't know exactly where he is.
Sure.
So I know that eventually I need to run out of this corner here, but I'm kind of afraid that he's too far down for me to run to the right here. So I could run to the right along the bottom of the level.
Yeah.
I'm kind of afraid of that at this point. I make the decision to run upwards, and as you're about to see, that was probably the wrong decision. But just take a look at this.
Jesus.
Yeah. A couple of close calls.
Right.
I knew that he was very close, and so I knew I had to do this whole sequence very quickly. So I tried to do it as fast as I could. Luckily, I got it pretty well there. I left just in time, but as you can see, now we're again on this platform. which is a generally really good place to be. So I decided to just sit here. I hear that shot, so I decided to move out of the way. I hear the second shot, so I'm like, all right, I gotta leave entirely. So now I know I'm down here.
Right.
I hear this slide move come out. I don't know when this happened, but I figure he's heading my way.
Sure.
So I'm like, all right, I gotta get out of here. If I go into this, if I try and go left into this U shape, there's a very big chance that I just get stuck.
Right.
And that he just covers that entire area. So at this point, I want to go to the right and start climbing up. So I moved to the left here because when I was on the right side, or it might have been because I heard this shot actually. So yeah, okay.
Okay.
Well, I don't remember exactly why I decided to move to the left. There are two reasons why I normally do. It's because either I hear a shot and I just assume that it's going to hit me, or B, it's because I hear that I don't have an angle here, and occasionally I do have an angle when I'm on the left. So like it's a very sharp angle, but sometimes this is a better place to be.
Right.
So I didn't hear that I was hitting, so I just decided to move and see if that worked. It didn't work, but that was that. So at this point, I know I want to climb up to the right. That jump there. I'll replay it. This jump up to this platform here. If we take a look at the map, you can see down in the bottom right corner that we're at this node here. And we're trying to get to this other yellow node here. You can see very clearly that there is not a line that directly connects those two nodes. Which means that this jump that I just made from here to up there was entirely a mistake. I should not have made that jump. I didn't practice that jump. I didn't plan for that jump. That should not have happened. I did that entirely because I forgot the strat. And I just double jumped. I thought at the time that was the strat. But of course, in the heat of the moment, I didn't realize that that's actually not what I was supposed to do. And I just got entirely extremely lucky.
Right.
Making that jump.
Yeah.
Normally, the strat is, what is this? Neutral double jump. So we neutral double jump up to this floating block. And then I believe if we just hold right from here, we end up in that yellow area.
Okay.
So what I should have done was just jump straight up,
right,
land on this block, and then hold right. But I held right the entire time. And I just got extremely lucky landing exactly where I wanted to.
Right.
So that happens, and then we do the normal strategy to get up here. Now, from here, I can either boomerang jump up to the platform above me, or I can try and go left. I didn't really feel like trying this boomerang jump was going to be worth it, especially given the risk that we could land in this little pocket here.
Right.
Normally, we do make the jump over, and we make it on top, so we can just hold left and continue. Sometimes you land in this pocket, and there's not really a good way for me to tell the difference, especially when I'm trying to focus on all the other sound effects happening.
Right.
So I figure I'll just move left here. I'll go back to this platform. Again, like I've said a couple of times, this platform is a very good place for me to be. So I move left here. I decided to stay here. Now I hear that I'm not hitting, which is unfortunate, because I'm just barely off. Like if I had jumped maybe like 2 times here, right? I probably could have gotten a couple of jumps here.
Yeah.
I would have hit. I mean, if you see his health bar, it's hard to see, but if you see his health bar,
right,
I maybe could have ended the fight right here. But of course I hear the slide move, so I'm like, all right, I gotta move. Drop down to the left. Now, after this move happens, I think, in my mind, that he is somewhere closer to the right.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to consider whether or not to try and climb this tower or to move to the right and go along the bottom of the level.
Yeah.
I figure, given how high up I think he is, that if I do decide to climb, my only exit is to then move to the right. In which case, he will have followed me up there, and he'll be waiting for me, essentially.
Yeah.
So, at this point, I decide it's a good idea to move to the right. Again, I get kind of lucky, because I was wrong about where he is, but it just so happens that he was out of my way, and I can make this jump still.
Right.
So I go over there. I wait until this... I do hear the spike, but I wait until it's about to trigger before I move.
Yeah.
Just so that I can try and get any extra damage. Same thing, I hear this spike going off, but I'm like, okay, I have like half a second to sit here. Because I know that this area I can get a lot of damage in. I end up depleting his health bar right here. And funny about this is that I actually was very surprised to hear the death sound effect, because it had been so long since I had heard it that it threw me off completely. Like, I was like, for like half a second, my brain was like, that's not a sound effect that this level should have. And I just like, I was shocked. And so you can see it takes me like a second or two after I hear that to be like, oh, I won. See, like, I very confusedly am like, oh my god, I did it. Oh my god. But yeah. So that's the context there. Basically, I got pretty lucky because I made a couple of wrong assumptions, but it ended up working out. But yeah.
So do you have an estimate on how long a whole run will take?
So the video I put together, the update video. So here, where does it start? So it starts at 2:30. I think this takes about about 50 minutes.
Okay.
Each level back to back to back.
Right.
Obviously, that doesn't include resets.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. I have done a full Chapter A run, so there are 5 chapters.
Yeah.
I've done all of Chapter A and all of Chapter B. These both took around about half an hour. I think A took more about 20 minutes, and B took about half an hour.
Okay.
E... I'm estimating it'll take about the bartender fight, I'm guessing, is going to take somewhere between 1.5 to 2 hours. The first squid fight will probably take about the same amount of time. And then that fight is probably going to take an hour or two more, I think. So Chapter E alone probably is going to be a big chunk. I have to do Matt for the strat. No, don't update them. That's not a legitimate strategy. That's not supposed to be there. I did it on accident. Oh yeah, so Squid, the boss, has a voice line that's just yo. If he hasn't said anything in a while, he'll just be like yo.
Okay.
And so that's become a bit of a meme.
What is the pointer?
The pointer is so that I can point at things.
Yeah, what the hell is it?
I don't know. Glitch was the one that put this together, so
okay.
I don't know. Glitch, what is this? I just didn't really think about it. I was like, oh yeah. I don't remember what I was saying before. Oh right.
Pointer's a blindfold.
Oh.
Okay. I see.
That's cool. At first, I kind of thought it was like meat on a bone, but in black and white.
That's what it kind of looked like. It's like that doesn't make sense though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I wasn't gonna question it. I was like, oh, it's a pointer.
It's like, but it's a tissue box with tissues coming out both sides.
Tissue box. Yeah, so chapter E is probably gonna take a while. I am gonna practice, obviously, so I'm really hoping that those 3 levels aren't going to take several hours.
Yeah, you're gonna first try them all.
Right, exactly, yeah, for sure.
It's all muscle memory.
I know my art is amazing. It is.
Okay, well, it's
fantastic.
not that. It's less so your art and more so that we're just stupid.
I mean, like, now that I know what it is, it's like, oh yeah, of course. I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that it's pixel art. It's kind of hard to tell.
Goddamn squares.
Right? So ironically, chapter C is the second hardest chapter. That one. So if we take a look at this update video, I split it up into chapters. It might be hard to tell on stream, but one of these segments you can see is like significantly longer than the rest, right? Now this is just the funny moments compilation, so that doesn't really count. But like, you can see that this one right here is significantly longer than the rest of them. And if we head on over to the strats, that level was C18.
And if we like 40
if we look at how many steps it takes to beat this level.
Yeah.
43. Yeah. So chapter C is gonna be a bit of a doozy. Again, I don't know. It's really hard to say at this point, I think. Until I do a full chapter run of each of these, it's going to be really hard to say how long it's going to take.
Right.
I'm hoping that it should take both chapter A and chapter B less than an hour. So it should take me less than an hour to beat these 2. I honestly couldn't tell you about the rest of them. I think chapter E is probably going... if we get lucky, chapter E is going to take less than 8 hours.
When are you planning on doing this?
As soon as I beat all of the individual chapters. Except maybe E. For chapter E, I'm thinking maybe I do every level except for E18.
What's E18?
E18 is the boss fight.
Oh, okay.
This one.
Yeah.
Sorry. So I'm thinking of doing every level except for that one. I still expect it to take multiple hours.
Sure.
But, you know, E18 is its own beast. It'll be whatever. So, I don't know when I'm going to do the full run. But I do want to, like, you know, make a dedicated time slot for it and, like, mentally and physically prepare for it.
You kind of need to.
Yeah.
That's like a full fucking shift of a job. And you are depriving yourself of one of your senses while doing so.
Why? I mean... Yeah. I'll go to the bathroom before.
Okay.
So, you know, maybe I won't have to take breaks. I don't know. That should we allow taking breaks? Cuz like for all of these runs, you can see I set up the camera so that you can see my monitors. So even if I remove the blindfold, I still can't see the game. So maybe we allow that? I don't know. It's debatable because I could potentially look at chat still. I could potentially have like notes pulled up on my phone or something. So maybe it would invalidate the run.
Leave the blindfold on for pee breaks.
I could do that. It's for a good cause, snail game. Yes. Working an 8-hour shift is good. Because I contribute to snail game.
It's free labor.
For who?
YouTube? Against yourself?
I'm putting in an 8-hour shift so that I can support YouTube, right? Yeah. Oh, so I was talking about this earlier, but I kind of want to make like defined rules for each of these difficulty categories.
Yeah.
But you can kind of get a sense for how difficult each chapter is. So you can see generally chapter C is more difficult.
Yeah.
Chapter D kind of goes down, although the boss fight is pretty difficult. Ironically, the boss fight is one of the easiest levels in chapter C.
Okay.
Here, I'll show you why. Oops. Okay. So you have a sideways gun, and you have to beat this spider.
Okay.
And the spider slowly moves to the right. We are underwater currently.
Okay.
So gravity is reduced. Acceleration in general is reduced.
Yeah.
So things will look a little bit more floaty. So the strategy for this one is to just face left, wait until we cut off a good amount of the limbs, and then we move to the right and do the same thing over again.
Okay.
So I just sit here and wait for the boss to come to me.
Is this harder and harder difficulties?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I am playing the game on the easiest of the 5 difficulties. Yeah. But yeah, so I just sit there. It is necessary for me to do that little chunk of damage right there, because it allows me to go to the very end of the level, face left, and then do absolutely nothing. You can see I even take my hands off the keyboard and just wait.
I assumed it was just an infinite thing.
No.
Okay.
It doesn't. Bro called Mama Squid a spider. Okay, yeah, but like, it looks like a spider, you know? I'm sorry, I'll call it by the correct name next time. But yeah, at the end of the level, you just sit there and then you win. Easy game. So, ironically, despite the fact that Chapter C is the second most difficult chapter, the boss fight is insanely easy.
Okay.
And then you have Chapter E over here, which has
the
bartender fight and both of the squid fights. The rest of the chapter is not bad, though. You can see that the next hardest level is this one. And that's it. I don't even remember what this one is. What's EO7? Oh, right, it's this one. So this level's really short. You spawn right here, and you just have to make it to up here. But at this point in the story, the boss is really mad at you, and so these obstacles spawn like crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Insane skill issue.
Right. I can't see any of the obstacles, and I'm just blindly pressing the jump button and praying. But yeah, it's a skill issue, obviously.
Right.
So yeah, it is very bizarre that this chapter is like so easy, except for these 3 levels.
Right.
And then I need to make notes for this. I kind of don't want to do that though, because I just kind of want to enjoy the fact that that this number says 100%. I just want to sit back and enjoy it. Every death is a skill issue except for lag.
I disagree. That's also a skill issue. You should have had better hardware, better internet, whatever.
Let me open the game here. So at the very beginning of this challenge, I had a save file, and I ended up deleting that save file and starting a new one. But that was pretty early on, and so the save file that I've been using for this is a pretty decent estimate of what I've been doing. So I kind of want to see how many deaths I have in that save file, because I'm pretty sure it's over 7,000 at this point. Yeah, so 38 hours in this save file. How many deaths? 7,866.
Okay.
Yeah, as you can see, I did not leave the exact spot that I after I beat the last level. But yeah. This is the bartender fight, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, okay. Oh, actually, so I didn't know about the fast basketball strat before I watched the world record for it. So this is a basketball level.
Yeah, I think you showed me it.
Yeah.
Before.
So normally, if I get it right, you can just hang on. There we go. No? I swear I'm good at this game. Whatever. I'll do it this way if I can. Whoops. Don't laugh at me.
Insane skill issue.
I have the world record on this level, okay? It has to go in eventually. Okay, so you see it kind of had to drop down to the bottom of the basket before this door opened?
Yeah.
But if you pause and unpause, the door opens immediately.
Oh.
So what I did was I bound the L button to pause.
Okay.
And I also bound it to menu confirm. And you can see that the very first option in the menu is continue.
Okay.
So if I hit L, it just paused and unpaused.
Ah.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, you can't hold a direction. So I'll just hold right here and then hit L. So if I do that,
sure,
I have to let go of right and then press it again.
Yeah.
Which means that I have to let go of right, press L, and then hold right again as fast as possible. But if I do it correctly, you could just do that, and you get out very early. Same thing happens with this level, but this level is a little bit trickier. The strat for this one is that you have to you have to like run into the side of the box here and cause it to like shoot up and to the right. You have to like squeeze it in between. That's right, this is how I did it. Like that. And it just goes flying. And if you get a good enough shot, it'll just follow this path and go straight into the basket.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't know about the fast door strat.
Yeah.
Until I was just like, you know what? I kind of want to play these levels. And then I looked at the world record and I was like, how did they do that? But yeah, so I want to show you one of the funny moments here. Here we go. Which now that I think about it, that's probably what happened. Let's turn that down. So that happened. Remember when Splitty was the hardest level? Dude. Don't remind me. Splitty still is a hard level. And then it happened again.
I'm not trying to do this. I swear.
And then I tried jumping around. And it happened again. And then I reset.
So yeah, I think actually just doing the single air.
And then it happened again.
Man, you weren't even on 1,000 deaths at this point.
No, I wasn't. And this was chapter D, so this was like most of the way through the game.
Is it? I mean,
A lot of deaths happened on the first, and then I did that. A lot of deaths happened on the first boss or the first squid fight.
Okay.
so we hold right, we jump.
And then it happened again.
You would think that it's so unlikely to happen.
I think that's the opposite of a skill issue.
Well, I mean,
And
then I jump over to that one.
That's a skill feat.
Skill feat. And then it happens again.
I'm starting to think that this is not.
And then you'll never guess what happens next.
Maybe this isn't actually clip worthy. Maybe it's supposed to happen.
I do it while blindfolded. And I don't know at this point whether or not I'm on the left side of the platform. So the reason I was jumping there was because there's a sound effect that plays when you hit your head on a ceiling.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to test whether or not I'm hitting this ceiling.
Right.
So at this point, I don't know whether I'm down here or on the far left side of the platform. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's no way I somehow accidentally landed here.
Right.
So I'm just going to hold right for a little bit. And if I'm on this platform, then nothing happens. But if I'm down here, then I'll die.
Right.
I either miracle landed on the spikes below, or
So I'm explaining that whole thought process.
side of the platform because I'm not hearing a head hit.
And then eventually I die.
There's no way that could be hard to do. I've done it
Yeah.
on accident so many times.
I thoroughly enjoy this whole funny moments compilation. It was great to look back on that stuff. Especially the streams where we were putting this together.
Yeah.
This is the red string corkboard of Will You Snail. Yeah, while I was making it, these lines were like super thick so I could see them.
Yeah.
And then Glitch went back through and made them all thin, including this new one that shouldn't exist.
Right, because with it being thin, it looks so much better and easily able to tell what's going on.
Well, we got rid of the
You, can anyone look at
there was some spaghetti yum text right here because this whole area was just filled.
Oh, and the pointer was just
It's
a cone.
still yeah, that too. Oh, and then the Stone VVVV. So we were discussing my Twitch username
Oh.
being. So I wanted Stone 50, but that was taken. So it was Stone 5555, and so it was decided that I should have used Roman numerals instead.
I remember the Twitch days.
Oh yeah, those were definitely days.
The days of just chatting.
Dude, that's part of the reason I only stream on YouTube now. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, maybe someday I'll go back, but I don't know. I'm afraid of just chatting. The Twitch chatters scare me.
Yeah, well, when most people that are browsing that section are mostly just looking for women to harass.
Right.
You know.
Well, when that section is mostly made up of women that.
Well, yeah.
Whatever. I'm not gonna make a political statement. We are unpolitical here on my stream.
It's not a political opinion if it's the truth.
Yeah, all right. Oh, right. Yeah, so Splitty being the hardest level. I'll move over. Yeah, Splitty, here we go. So it's this level.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this is not deterministic. So despite the fact that it looks like it starts out the exact same way every time,
I can't help
it's not deterministic. So that led to this strat of damaging these blocks up here
Yeah.
on the first go around. And then when we reach the left wall, we go back and we start destroying them. And that effectively creates an entire barrier that these things can't pass.
Okay.
So I kind of messed up the strat. You can see these aren't very damaged, but you can see it basically prevents them from going backwards.
Right.
And then eventually they'll all get hit.
Yes.
And I just kind of hope and pray that happens before I reach this side.
Right.
It happened a couple of times where I made it all the way over here and then just fell down and died. But yeah, this was a pretty tough level. This took me 7 minutes of attempts after I created the strategy, which at the time, it hadn't ever taken me more than like 1 minute to beat a level. And so this was quite the feat at the time. Little did I know.
Not the, 10 hours it took you for one boss fight?
Yeah. Oh, poor innocent me. So happy that I finally beat the boss fight. Little did I know.
I've seen like YouTube videos of challenge runs with other games. It's like, little did I know, 24 hours later on this one boss fight, I'd still be making attempts. It's like, why would you put yourself through that? It's like...
Well, because I made a promise. Well, it wasn't really a promise, but like...
Okay, but what I'm talking about, it was 24 hours worth of attempts, of straight attempts, and he had made no progress whatsoever. So,
I mean... Oh, where is it? Here we go. This was the announcement of my first stream,
Okay.
where like somebody jokingly said, "Okay, who wants to start doing Will You Snail Blindfolded?" Because Summoning Salt had made this video. So I saw this video before it was posted here in the Discord, and that's kind of what got me interested in doing this. Obviously, I had the thought before about potentially doing it, and then I saw the Summoning Salt video, and I was like, oh, that's, maybe I might try that. And then somebody posted it here, and then eventually I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
When was April 7th? So, only 4 months ago. As a Kaizo level maker, I saw the word maker and my mind was like, oh, Mario Maker. As a Kaizo level maker, I can answer this. People try ridiculously difficult things because the satisfaction of completing it is proportional to the difficulty. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100% agree. Yeah. I mean, again, when I beat E18, I was still a little bit confused.
Right.
But yeah, it felt pretty good.
I guess I'm talking all this shit, and I love From Software games, so it's like,
Yeah.
why am I saying this? I spent hours on bosses before. What the fuck am I saying?
Yeah, why did it type it into? Okay, whatever. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool if/when I eventually beat the whole thing. And then Glitch made this thing so that if anybody else is crazy enough to try this stuff, they can basically mark their progress here. And so you can see I don't have chapter C, chapter D, whatever, and then there's alternate ending stuff, all collectibles, which there are quite a few. Okay. So I don't know if I want to do those yet. I'm kind of tempted to, just so that I can make this entire column check marks for no other reason than OCD. I don't actually have OCD. I'm adopting that term.
The awareness, dude. Giving it a bad name.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. So funny thing about this. Rewind to E18 here. So when I beat this level, so let me give some context here. So let's go to my playlist. So here you can see episode 20 part 2. So this one is 44 minutes, this one's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The reason for that is because the internet kept crapping out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And so normally what I do is I record my stream while I'm streaming. So we're going to go infinite here. But you can see down here in the bottom right this timer with the red recording button. That means that I'm recording at the same time that I'm streaming. Now, usually if the internet goes out, it just disconnects me. It waits a little bit, internet comes back, and then it reconnects me to the same stream.
Right.
Yesterday, it just so happened that I was disconnected for too long, and YouTube decided to cut off the stream. And so my Streamlabs still had, so you can see again in the bottom right, it says end stream. That button said reconnecting. So despite the fact that my stream was no longer a thing, it still said it was reconnecting. And it was saying that for a good while. And it wasn't until I checked my YouTube channel that I realized, oh, it's not actually reconnecting me. Why did my chat decide to do that?
What to say? What the hell
I don't know. What I didn't know was that Streamlabs also ends the recording if you end your stream. So that button said reconnecting. I realized it wasn't actually going to reconnect, so I clicked on it to end the stream. That also ended the recording, and I didn't think to check before I started the stream again. And so I went this 45 minutes recording it, and I did not record the 20 minutes that happened after that, which is the time that I actually beat the level.
Oh.
So I did not have a local recording of this.
Right.
Now, YouTube does allow you to download videos. However, for whatever reason, it wasn't allowing me to download this one. And so I tried one of those third-party application / website things where you can paste in a YouTube URL and it will download it for you.
Right.
I tried a bunch of those. None of them worked.
Really?
And I somehow ended up with a virus.
What?
It was bizarre.
Does
because
it not like stream videos? Stream VODs?
I'll get there. But I had a virus. I no longer have the virus. I got rid of it. It wasn't that difficult to get rid of.
How did you know you had it?
Because at a completely random point in time during the process of trying to scramble and get this video so that I could edit this video together, during that process, my computer started to install Opera, the browser, and it proceeded to make that browser my default one instead of Firefox. I uninstalled it.
Yeah. Got
rid of everything that caused it, right? And then I had to reset up my Firefox. Like, it got rid of it reset my default search engine. So I normally use DuckDuckGo. So I use DuckDuckGo for searching.
Yeah.
It had reset that to Bing. Yeah, right? And Bing doesn't want you to switch off of using Bing. So I used Bing to try to search how to set my search engine to a different one, and Bing, being the amazing search engine that it is, refused to give me an answer. It even had a little blurb at the top that was like, "No, don't switch away from Bing."
Bro.
I was like, I want to switch away from Bing. I never asked you to be my search engine. So I got that part figured out. I Googled the issue. I had been searching for the issue the whole time, but I finally got a search that gave me an answer. Somebody on Reddit had a similar issue, and they found out that YouTube has a waiting period before you can download live streams.
Oh, that's right.
So I couldn't download the live stream until, like, I don't know, a day or two. I don't know exactly what the time period is, but I couldn't download it. I just thought Will You Snail Blindfolded playlist on Shuffle Play. Dude, imagine like being lost in the level select screen and you just have to enter a level and try and figure out which one it is. Where was I? So I figured out that there's a waiting period. I figured, okay, maybe YouTube Premium will allow me to download the video without the waiting period. So you can see up here.
No way.
I now have YouTube Premium. It gave me 2 months for free.
Okay.
So luckily, I did not have to pay for it. I get 2 months free.
Have you set like an alarm on like your calendar to make sure you cancel?
I don't plan on using all 2 months of it. Eventually, I'll get rid of this, but
You say eventually, but then you're gonna forget.
I won't forget. I use YouTube so often. I'm gonna see this.
Okay.
I'm gonna see this name every single time. So
Okay.
it's fine. Don't worry about it. I would never forget.
I'm setting on my calendar 2 months just to check in.
No, you're gonna wait 3 months and then check in and be like, "Hey, how's that YouTube Premium?" So I got YouTube Premium thinking that maybe it would let me download the VOD. It didn't. There's still a waiting period. What I ended up doing was recording my screen while I had the YouTube video open. So I just played the VOD and recorded my screen as I did that. And that's how I got the clip that you see in the update video. That's where this comes from. And then after all of that happened, I had to record and edit together this intro. And so it was it was like a mad scramble to put this together because I really wanted to get it out last night.
Right.
But yeah, I got it out and I'm really happy with it. I think it's good. And yeah. 100% done. Not quite, but you know. It's been a while since I've looked at this document. Here's the full plan that I created on the very first stream. So step 1 is to obviously explain the plan. And then I go through the steps of the setup review, ranking individual levels. That's right. So the initial idea was to just do a regular run through of the game and take notes as I go, and then rank them and then strategize. So I wanted to rank them based on how I thought they might go and then actually strategize. That's not what happened. I got into the game and just the first few levels were so easy that I just decided, you know what? I'll just create a strategy for the levels as I go. And then, so the reason I wanted to rank the levels first was because I wanted to strategize the easiest ones first.
Sure.
Because that would have, the idea was that would have uncovered certain strategies, and as I progress, I can use the strategies that I'm building up for the more difficult levels. Now, again, as it happened, the levels were relatively easy enough that I could just make up strategies as I went along. But yeah, just kind of interesting to see how it all unfolded here. So yeah, I ranked the levels first and then beat each one individually from easiest to hardest. Learn strats on the way. So we are now done with this step. We have finally completed step 4. Step 5 is to practice. And again, the initial plan was to not beat any of the full chapters until I had beaten every level individually. But at some point, I got bored and just decided to beat these 2 chapters anyway.
Right.
Because these 2 were pretty easy anyway, so I was like, I'll just get them done, and I'll get them done and out of the way. But yeah, so we're on to step 5. Eventually we got to beat the game, and then of course we eat a grand. Because as we know, any great plan ends with eat a grand.
You've been making that joke for like 10 years now.
Yeah. Yeah. I it's at like the very beginning of the funny moments.
Once you finally do it, will you actually eat a crayon on stream?
I mean, probably not.
What? Why?
Because you're not supposed to eat a crayon.
Well, then...
I don't condone eating crayons, all right?
Okay, you can condone something and still do it.
I cannot condone eating crayons while also eating crayons.
I don't support what I'm doing, and then you do it.
Hey guys, never go gambling. Anyway, I'm gonna spend $500 on this roulette wheel.
Yeah. Do as I say, not as I do. Hey, I've eaten a handful of candles before. It's not that bad.
Was I there for this?
No.
When did that happen?
Summer camp.
Oh, of course, it happened at a camp. I mean, I've taken a bite out of a candle before, but I didn't like eat it.
Oh yeah, I ate the whole thing.
Bruh. Wait, you swallowed it?
Oh yeah. At least 2 times.
What do you mean? What do you mean you swallowed it twice?
Like 1 year and then the year after.
Oh, okay. I was imagining you like
What, like I puked it up and then oh no, I really gotta go through with this.
That's how cows eat their food. Just make sure you get non-toxic crayons. So I did at one point. It was the 4th of July. We had gone out to some like park or some grass field or something. I don't remember exactly where it was. But they had it was a sort of festival thing, and so they had activities, and so they had crayons there. And so this joke got brought up somehow. I don't remember how. Where we were joking about the fact that that's just a thing that I say is like, well, I'm gonna eat a crayon. And so they had crayons there, and so I again, I don't remember how, but I got the idea to actually eat the crayon, and so I did. I didn't swallow it, but I put it in my mouth and I bit it, and it just like it
crumbles.
disintegrated. Yeah. It like the pieces were so small, like I was spitting it out for like the rest of the night because there were just little pieces everywhere in my mouth.
Yeah, that's how it was with the candle. The wax just kind of crumbles. But then there's also a wick in the middle.
Oh. Did you eat the wick?
Yeah, of course.
What do you
swallowed
mean,
the whole
of course?
thing.
What do you mean, of course? That's not like that's an obvious thing. Oh yeah, what do you mean?
I ate the candle. The wick is part of the candle.
I ate the core of the apple when I ate the apple. What do you mean? You don't eat the wick when you consume a candle?
There aren't normal practices to eating candles, though, like there are with eating apples.
Because you don't eat a candle.
I have. Maybe I'm a trendsetter.
Please don't make that a trend. If you're listening to this, don't eat candles. I like the crayon skin. The flesh is not to my taste. But see, that's just like paper, right? Paper is somewhat edible.
Do you eat your Ritz crackers with the peel or without?
Usually without. Trying to think what other levels were interesting here. I mean, we had the second to last boss fight. Oh, this one. So this level, not the one you see, the level I'm transitioning into, is also very RNG based. These bubbles have a random speed. So they all move upwards.
Right.
But they move upwards at a different speed. And so they spawn in the same locations. So to some degree it's predictable.
Right.
But for the most part, you kind of just have to hope that they're in the right spot. So like here, usually this doesn't hit me. I think there was one time where it did hit me. But for the most part, this doesn't squish flat down at the same time that you're here, so it's like it's fine. But yeah, so I just have to wait here for an arbitrary amount of time until I think that this bubble has moved up far enough for me to make that jump. And then same thing here. This bubble, if it moves slow enough, can still be in this location. So again, I just kind of have to wait here until I think it's safe to go. Yeah. And so that level took quite a while. this level, ironically, you can beat this level by holding left and spamming the jump button. But the first time I attempted it, I got stuck. Because the sounds that I was hearing didn't make sense. Somehow I had ended up in a location that I wasn't expecting to be in.
Okay.
And so I was trying to be clever about it, not just spam jump.
Right.
Don't really know why I chose to do it that way, but it is what it is. So I had to reset this level. This was my second attempt at this level, despite the fact that all you have to do is hold left and spam jump. So I'm pretty sure I did go back and change the strategy for this one. But yeah, so like right here, I got stuck because I can't remember where I was, but I was in one of these two locations. And for whatever reason, I just could not figure out why I wasn't going where I was expecting. Again, I don't remember what I was expecting to happen.
Right.
I just remember that it wasn't happening, and that confused me. But yeah, you can absolutely just hold left, spam jump.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it leads into one of the hardest levels in the chapter. But yeah. Trying to think. So the snowman level is not difficult, but it is interesting.
Yeah, I think you've talked about it before.
Yeah. So this one, you can tell which snowmen is getting hit. Well, you can't tell exactly which ones are getting hit, but you can tell which side is getting hit. And so on this one, you can see that I keep track on my... So I go in this location. I found that this location is relatively safe. But you can see I count on my fingers. Yeah, left team is cracked. So eventually it gets to the point where these two are the only ones left, and they go actually quite a while without hitting each other. And eventually I'm just like, you know what? I either die or one of these areas is free to go, or the right area is free to go. If there's a snowman on the left side, it's not really possible for me to get past.
Yeah.
But on the right side, if this guy's the only one left, then it's fine. So yeah, then I beat that. And then
So you decided to not attempt the skip on this one.
Correct. I did try the skip.
Okay.
So I did test it out. But I determined that this was way easier. Yeah, here it is. This was funny. We were messing around with the strategy guide.
What do you mean needs sheet music?
Oh, whoops.
We're done. Let's do it blindfolded. Here we go. Well, it's seeming like the one at the top right is almost always the one that's left. Could be wrong about that.
Here. So this level,
Okay.
actually I can show it to you in the video here. So this is what the level looks like.
Okay.
These things move side to side, up and down, depending on where they are. And they do move on a specific cycle.
Okay.
So, but you can't really like normalize, in the same way that you can with other levels where you like run up against a wall.
Sure.
And then you wait for something to happen and then you go.
Right.
So for this level, we used the music to time the jumps. So maybe I can... I don't remember which. What was the name of the level?
The B10?
B10?
I think. It could be wrong.
B10.
Nope.
Try B09.
Okay, yeah, that was.
Oh, no. Is it A10?
A10? I could have sworn there was a 10.
Enter the level. Hold right to get down to the pit.
It's one of the really early levels.
Hold right. Double jump. We're in the level.
It's like after you actually quote unquote start the game. Yeah, here we go. So you can see I'm bobbing. Yeah, so you can see I'm bobbing my head to the music,
Yeah.
and I'm just timing when to go. So that level requires music. There are a couple of other levels that use music strats.
Okay.
But they mostly use the beat of the music,
Sure.
not necessarily the notes.
Yeah.
This level in particular does use the notes themselves, so that's why I took a screenshot of the music and added symbols and stuff.
Who made the sheet music?
I don't know.
That was just available?
Yeah,
What?
I just Googled it.
What?
That's part of the funny moments is that I was just like, I don't know how to take notes about this one because I know which notes to do what actions on, but how do I tell other people? So I Googled it, and yeah, I just found this available.
Like, I'm surprised, like, nobody in, like, the Discord is like, yeah, I'm gonna make this. Because obviously somebody was like, you know what, I am going to just notate this. Unless it was made by the creator and he just put it out there, but...
I don't know.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I doubt it as well.
But who out there in the Will You Snail community was just like, you know what? I'm gonna analyze this piece and notate it.
I have no idea,
Okay.
but I'm very grateful for it. It was made by LBB22.
Okay.
So credit to them.
Okay, because theoretically their name should have been under the Jonas, whatever that is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me-
Original composer and then arranger. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, so this was the website that I got it from.
Okay, I see.
Musicscore.com.
Oh, MuseScore.
MuseScore, yeah.
Yeah, it's a program that you can use to create sheet music and then publish the sheet music.
Oh, okay.
So like I've used MuseScore, like I used it for my music theory final.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what we use the music for.
Okay.
So the context for that message was where we just had the notes that were saying, oh, thank you, Glitch, for adding that.
Gotta add a credit.
Yeah,
Shameful.
I know. I'm sorry. Which level was it? I thought it was C, right? Is it after this? Oh, yeah, okay, it was D11. Yeah, so the basketball level. So this one,
Yeah.
the blindfolded strat for this one is essentially the same as the sighted run.
Okay.
So I can't remember if this is one where you can get away with resetting or if you have to exit the level. But you can just do that. and then win. And if you time it right, all you have to do is jump once and hold right.
Right.
So that is the blindfolded strat.
Okay.
Which is why the notes for it were it was just win, lol. And D10, why did D10 require sheet music? Is that the Is that the impossible jump? Yeah, it's the impossible jump part 2. So this one you use the beat of the music to determine when to jump, because obviously you don't have anywhere to normalize. You kind of just have to guess.
Right.
I'm trying to remember what other level requires the music. I thought there was at least one more. Oh, it's one of the first levels. Why are none of these unlocked? Except AO7? What? Oops. It's before AO7, right? I'm pretty sure it's before AO7. So this one I just guess as to when to hit the second jump button, because this is quite a long jump.
Muscle memory.
Yeah, this is one of the levels that requires muscle memory. I thought... Yeah, it's before this one. Which level is it? It's this one. So this one I also use the music, so that I can make this sequence of jumps.
Yeah.
Because obviously I don't have anything to normalize against. I just have to guess as to when to stop holding right.
Right.
So this is one where I use the beat of the music to time it.
Okay.
And then this one just requires muscle memory. There's not really anything to it. I do use that corner on the ceiling to bump up against to like better time it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I just hold right and jump here, it's, you know,
right.
It's still possible for me to miss that jump. But yeah, I'm pretty sure those are the only levels that require the music. I could be wrong. Oh, no. There is one of the levels here in Chapter C. This one. I use the music for this one. So these fish will randomly speed up like what you just saw.
Okay.
And so again, kind of like that other level, where the bubble level, I'd kind of just have to wait a while, jump, and pray that there's not a fish in my way.
Yeah.
And I can use the music to estimate where the fish are.
Sure.
But obviously it's not possible for me to know exactly where they are. But yeah, the strategy is to go over here, jump up, hope I don't get hit, jump up, hope I don't get hit, and then win. I think the full game strategy is to go up here, take this diagonal route. I have never taken this before. Even in my full game runs, I've always just gone all the way to the right along the bottom. Oops. Yeah. So another strategy is I go into controls, move right. You can see there are a bunch of things here. One of them is mouse wheel up.
Okay.
The reason for that is because you can get a single frame input with one tick of your mouse wheel. So if I do mouse wheel up, you can see I barely move.
Right.
And so we use this trick in a couple of different levels to get very precise movement. Where I use it here is that after I drop down from that platform, I'll do a little bit of a left-right, and then I'll tick so that I can drop down without having to worry about running into that fish on my left.
Okay.
There are a couple of other levels that I use it to get sort of that sort of precise movement. This level is a bit tricky because the timings that I'm using to estimate where the fish are require that I be down here relatively quickly.
Sure.
So I have to do this first bit pretty fast. Obviously, I have to count the number of times my mouse clicks, or my mouse wheel clicks.
Right.
So I can get that. So this level is a bit tricky in that aspect. But I believe we call it tick.
Okay.
Yeah, so C10, you use ticks. C18, the massive level.
Right.
The Piranha Tower, we use it a bunch of times. DO7? What's that one? Oh, there it is. Oh, right. Yeah, so we use it here. Oops. Okay. You know what? It's not a speedrun, it's fine. So we use it here in this portion of the level. So I get to here just using some regular strats.
Right.
Jump over this spike. Is this where I use it? Hang on. Hold right, jump right. Oh, that's right. No. I use it up here. So when I get to this location, I don't know exactly where on this platform I am.
Right.
All I know is that I'm alive right now, and so, you know, I didn't hit any of the spikes.
Yeah.
So what I do is I double jump, and if I'm too far to the right, I die, and I just, you know, try again. But if I don't die, I know that I'm somewhere in this area where the ceiling has no spikes.
Right.
So I use that and then move 14 ticks to the right. So I measured it, and exactly 14 ticks from like the far right, like the rightmost you can be,
Yeah.
while still surviving this double jump. Exactly 14 ticks will get you really close to this,
Okay.
and that way you can just do a small jump.
Right.
And so you don't have to worry about, well, do I have to do a long jump, or do I have, you know, how long am I supposed to hold the jump button for?
Yeah.
So it guarantees that you're somewhere near this area, and so you don't have to worry about it too much. And then we use it again in DO9. Where are we using it? Oh, that's right. So we get over here, and we go down here. So we use it here to get closer to the right
That
side.
makes sense.
That way, all I have to do is jump to the end.
Yeah.
And I do actually have a dedicated button for moving right. You can see I have F,
Yeah.
and also jump I have bound to F.
Okay.
So that way I only have to hold one button in order to jump to the right.
Right.
And then the boss fight for Chapter D is this volleyball match that you have to play, which obviously is very difficult if you're blindfolded, but if you can see, you can just slam dunk it.
Yeah.
And so the blindfolded strat is to actually slam dunk it. And and so this is one of the levels where I use the F key. So if I hug this wall, I mean, it's not that important that I use the F key. It's just easier. So if I hug this wall and just hold F and time my double jump, I can fairly consistently time this and just be able to hit it downwards.
Okay.
I've kind of lost the muscle memory for it, but I can do something like that. And eventually, you know, you get it to go straight down.
Right.
I think in the first time that I completed this level, I accidentally hit it against the ceiling, but I hit it so hard that it ricocheted back down into the ground fast enough. I thought we changed that. I forgot that we hadn't completed these levels. That's kind of funny. But yeah, you can see some of these require level re-entry because the cycles on some of the levels are different depending on if you hit the reset button.
Sure.
Compared to going back to the level select.
Yeah.
And we have to be very, very careful in the level select.
Oh, right.
Because if I get lost, again, I kind of have to use... I'll have to, like, do my best to figure out which level I'm in.
Right.
Now, on a fresh save, usually you can see that, like, there's a wall here that has been retracted.
Mm-hmm.
So usually that'll prevent you from progressing. So you might be able to use that. But
sure.
Yeah.
Again, I'm tired.
All right.
So I'm gonna go.
Appreciate you joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
You got it?
There we go.
All right.
There you go.
See ya. Okay. All right, well. I mean, I was considering like going back through the notes and making changes and doing some other housework today, but we took a little bit of a different turn, and I'm not upset about that, but that is stuff that we'll have to do eventually. Anyway, I think I'm actually gonna end here as well, because I mean I talked about a lot of stuff, about most of the things that I wanted to talk about today. The goal is to party. We did exactly that. Exactly. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of chill after, you know, having completed every individual level. Poof! Magically, Graham's back in the chat. You're just in time for me to end the stream, because I am also pretty tired. But yeah, so there's not going to be a stream tomorrow. Not sure about the rest of the week, but we'll see. But yeah, when we come back, I really don't want to do the housework stuff. I forgot I had it running on my computer. Hey, it counts as a view, so you know, I'm not upset. I don't really want to do the housework stuff. So we might just start trying to do a chapter D run. I want to do chapter D before I do chapter C, because again, I think it's generally easier. But yeah. In any case, I think we're gonna do a little bit of practice, no matter what, next stream. But yeah. How'd you find the dabbing emoji? All right. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate everybody for being here. See you later. Have a good one. Thanks for being here. Hope you enjoyed. Hopefully see you next time. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. It's coughing.